It is the infamous Caliber Hitter of CaliberHitting.com. And let's talk about this character right here, Nick Fuentes, who has been long overdue to be talked about by me. Nick Fuentes is a Democrat Party stooge, even if he doesn't know it or not. But in my honest opinion, he does, as he is promoted by Alex Jones, who is not even the guy that he says he is. He is a completely different man. And, you know, if you're on this channel, you know who he is. And, you know, Nick thinks he's at the cutting edge, you know, has his little gropers thing going on, but he never mentions the fact that Alex Jones isn't what he says to be. So Nick is going around now trying to get Candace Owens killed. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. You see, Nick was groomed. He's all about anti-Israel, anti-Jew. Even if he doesn't say it with his mouth, the people that support him have these views. So what am I saying here? Nick Fuentes was groomed from the beginning to hate Israel, to talk against Jews. Why do I say this? I'll play it right now.
I think Trump's going to win, and I'm straight up like ripping the Ben Shapiro talking points. I'm saying, you know, it's got everything to do with culture and nothing to do with race, and diversity's a problem and all this. And I decisively win the debate. It's like not even close. The debate wraps up, and this girl who I think I had talked to her on Twitter once or twice comes running up to the stage after the debate, and it's Cassie Dillon. And at this time, she's a fellow at Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's company. And like I said, I barely knew her. And she comes running up and she says, oh my gosh, I live streamed this debate on Periscope on Twitter. She said, and 30,000 people watched it, and you have like 5 job offers. You did incredible. I said, wow, I don't know what to say. That's great. She goes,
you're 18 years old.
Yes. So it's like happening very quickly for me, you know? And she goes, do you want to do a post-game interview after the debate? I said, sure. And so she asked me about...
So long story short, Ben Shapiro's company, you know, recruited Nick. And this is their tactic. They need somebody. They need multiple people. They need thousands of people to point the finger at and say, look, they're the bad guys. Just as Tony Montana said in Scarface. This is their whole tactic, you know? So the way they groomed Nick, the way they groomed his world thinking is simple. They recruited him, you know, gave him a show or whatever, because I don't recall the full Tucker Carlson video, but something like that. Then they, you know, get rid of him in some sort of way where he's going to hold a grudge. Then what happens? Nick is going to start talking about Israel stuff, anti-Jewish stuff. So this is his whole shtick, and it was done by design. And this is how they get you. Let's take for an example, when you first wake up and, you know, start looking into these conspiracy theories and stuff like that, there's going to be a group of people online who I uncovered years ago. They were running out of a location near Buckingham Palace. All this stuff comes out from the United Kingdom. All this Hitler promotion, all this anti-Jew stuff, etc., is ran out of the UK. And I know this because I IP fished multiple accounts from that area that were big names promoting anti-Israel, anti-Jewish stuff. And I'm not saying that Israel and that group of people don't have their faults and, you know, or committed genocide. But I'm too smart for that. I'm not going to fall into that trap. So when you wake up, you're going to have these groups of people saying, oh, you talk about conspiracy theories all day, but you never mention Israel or the Jews. You must work for them. And you see this character right here, Timothy Fitzpatrick. He wrote multiple articles about me over a decade ago, saying that I work for Israel, that I work for Alex Jones, etc., etc. Just because I am authentic, just because I put out information uncovering that Alex Jones really isn't who he says he is. So, me putting out facts, I must work for Israel. But gullible people fall for this tactic, just as Nick Fuentes has fallen to this tactic. They need people to be against Israel because that funds things like the ADL, et cetera, et cetera. It just generates more money to this group people are attacking. They need you to hate them. So going back at Nick Fuentes being a Democrat Party stooge, because he is one, because he is heavily promoted by Alex Jones, and Alex Jones isn't who he says he is. And anybody that doesn't say that Alex Jones is not Bill Hicks or is Bill Hicks is a fraud. So we've never heard that coming out of Nick Fuentes' mouth. And we're in 2025, man. It's so freaking obvious. Over a decade ago, you saying that, people would say, oh, you're crazy. It's not true. But nowadays, people are like, oh, shit, yeah, it's true. And it's common sense. If you can't see it, you must be mentally retarded. So what I'm trying to put out here is that even Elon Musk came out and said that Nick Fuentes was a Fed. He said this yesterday. Let me see if I could find the tweet. As you can see here, Elon Musk left a tweet saying that Nick Fuentes is a Fed. I want to call him a Fed because, he's not built like one. Feds usually, are a bit more muscular, more manly, and stuff like that. But I do agree. He is some sort of COINTELPRO. Just as that other character, David Duke. It's just a character that, even if he doesn't know it, the Democrat Party has built him up and really is their number one tool. He's going to say stuff. I'm not saying all his content is going to be the same as they take clips and demonize him. But, it's so obvious that this guy was groomed to do what he's doing. And, after seeing how he's basically trying to set up Candace Owens by getting her murdered, essentially, it just keeps proving the point that this guy is fishy. Even though he has that gropers group, even though he has that thing online, the gropers, Nick isn't as elite as, you think he is. Nick is a wannabe. He thinks he's at the cutting edge, but he's not. He has a lot of people brainwashed, and the people that they're bashing 24/7, you're their number one tool. They love you guys. Every time you say Israel this, that, Jews this and that, they're using you. You have to be more smarter than that. So, like I said, this guy's whole upbringing, when he got famous, the people that he's bashing made him famous. They, do him dirty, make him have a grudge, control him afterwards, and he's basically their puppet because he was literally MK'd Ultra without him even knowing it. So, Nick, if anybody's a fan of Nick and they listen to this, take 2 steps back, analyze the situation. You're basically the foot soldiers of Israel and the foot soldiers of Jews, which I don't have no problems against the Jews, you know. But there's people out there that want you to bash them 24/7, and you know, Nick Fuentes is a useless idiot, and I'm telling you right now, he's a Democrat Party stooge. So whatever you think, his movement or whatever, just know that it's not America first, it's Israel first, because, like I said, even if he doesn't know this, he works for Israel, and that's just fact. And look at that, again, trying to set up Candace Owens so she could get, you know, have her her system shut off. So there you have it. This has been Caliber Hitter of CaliberHitting.com.